So now let us see what is static variables in Java. Okay, the static variable in Java is a class level variable. Okay, that is shared among all instances or objects of the class. It is declared using the static keyword and has a single copy stored in the class memory or the method area. What are the key characteristics of static variables? These are declared inside a class but outside any method using the static keyword. Okay, and this shared among all objects of the class. Only one copy exists with respect to the static variables, and these are stored in the method area, not in the heap like the instance variables, and can be accessed directly using the class name. You don't need to create an object, and this gets the default value. The default value for the static variable will be provided by the JVM like the instance variables, and can be accessed in the static and non-static methods. Okay, so now let us try to see this particular thing. Okay, this particular static variable. Okay, so okay, so here guys, with respect to the static variable, if you see, okay, so this is the instance variables. Like how we can access the instance variable? We can access the instance variable with the help of objects, right? We can access. Okay, this remember this thing. We can access the instance variable with the help of objects, and the value of the instance variable changes from object to object, right? We just saw this. The value of this variable changes from object to object. Now coming to the static variable. Okay, for the static variable, let me try to rename the class here with respect to the static variable. Okay, so let me try to have this as static, and let me try to change the class name as static variable. Okay, okay. So now here this is basically an static constructor. So let me try to declare this constructor here. Okay, so now this is a is this a static variable, guys? No. This is an instance variable. In order to make an instance variable into static, or how to declare a static variable, we can declare a static variable with the help of static keyword. Static is a reserved keyword in Java, hence the color got changed. Okay, so the static variable is a variable which is declared outside any block, any method, directly within the class. It is the same place where we declare an instance variable. So how to declare an instance variable? Simple, instance variable. Okay, how to declare an instance variable? Int of z. So this is an instance variable. What is the difference? Instance variable. What is the difference between instance and static? The keyword static is the difference, right? So this is called as a static variable, this is called as an instance variable, right? Now the static variable is a variable which is declared directly within the class outside any method, any block, or any constructor. That is called as a static variable. So like the instance variable, the default value for the static variable will be provided by the JVM. For example, if I am trying to print here as A, so we can see the default value. The default value, let me try to write one sentence as default value of the static variable. I'm just trying to write one sentence, guys. Variable. Okay. So what is the default value of the integer value? That is 0. So that will be provided by the JVM. See, this is default value, right? And did we create any object to access the static variable? We did not create any object, right? So the static variables can be created, can be accessed directly with the name inside a class. Okay, inside a class we can directly use, or a static variable can even be accessed with the help of class name dot, like this. How I'm using? Like this I'm using. See, class name dot. Can we access similar way with the help of instance variable? No, we can't access. See, integer of z is equals to 20. Like this if I'm giving, and if I'm trying to access with the help of class name, it will give me a compile time error. See, it is giving me a compile time error, saying we cannot make a static reference to a non-static block. Okay, this is one more thing I'll tell you, but if I am accessing here, even here it will give me a compile time error. Okay, So in order to access an instance variable, we have to access only with the help of objects. If we are accessing a static variable, we can access directly within a class by just giving the reference, or with the help of class name dot variable name in the same class or in any other class, depending upon what access modifier we have provided. So the static variable can have access modifier as well. The default value will be provided by the JVM. Okay. Now the next thing is, with respect to the static variables, the value of the static variable does not change from object to object. Okay. How is it? That I'll explain. See, I have created one particular static variable, right? So for this static variable, let me try to create an object. So how to create an object? So with the help of class name and an object reference, obj1 is equals to new keyword and a constructor call. So this is called as an creation of object, right? So I'm trying to create an object. So this is giving me a compile time error because I have to pass an argument. So for that, I'll try to pass it as 20 as a value. Okay. So here I'm trying to initialize this particular static variable, right? So a is equals to z. Now I will create one more object with the same constructor, but I'll try to change the reference value as obj2, and I'm trying to give the value as 30. Okay. Now see, now I'll try to print the particular variable a. Okay. I'm trying to use this particular same println statement, guys. Okay. Now here I have created two objects, object 1 and object 2. The object 1 will try to initialize with value 20 and the object 2 will initialize with the value 30. Okay. Now here I'll try to access with the help of objects, not with the help of class name. obj1, obj2, and again I will try to provide obj1 as one more print statement. This is not a default value. This is the value of the static variable with obj1 object. Okay, and this is the default value. This is the value with respect to the static variable with respect to obj2, and this is with respect to obj1 again. Okay, so now if I'm trying to print run as Java application, see, you can see the difference. See here, the value of the static variable. Okay, so now here you can see that with the value of the obj1 is 30, right? Because we have provided it as 30. Oh, sorry, we have provided it as 20, but it is printing as 30. Okay, this, let me try to switch here, guys. Just give me a minute. I'll just try to switch this println statement here. Okay, and now I'll run as Java application. Okay, see, with respect to this particular object, I have set the value as 20, hence it is giving me 20 as the output, right? This is the default value, ignore this. This is 20. Now what will one more object do? It will try to set the value of the static variable a to 30, right? So that is giving me 30 because I'm trying to call with the help of obj2, right? obj2 will set the value of the static variable to 30, so that I'm getting it as 30, right? Now I'm not setting the again value with respect to obj1, right? But still it is giving me 30 with respect to the object 1, with respect to the object 1 here, right? Is the value of the static variable changing from object to object like how we saw with respect to instance variable? No, because the value of the static variable does not change from object to object. So when to go with an static variable? When the requirement is we don't want the value of a variable to change from object to object, then we go with respect to the static variables in Java. When do we go with instance variable? When we want the value of that particular instance variable to change from object to object. In that particular case, we go with instance variable. Okay, so that is the use of static variable. See, here we have initialized the value of the static variable to 20. Hence, this is printing me 20, right? Here we have set the value of the instance variable to 30. So this obj2 reference is giving me 30. But why is obj1 also giving me 30? It should give me 20, right? But as we have declared with respect to the static variable, hence it is giving me as 30. If I am removing this particular static and making this as an instance variable, you can see the difference. See, now I'll try to run as Java application. See, it is 20, 30, 20 because no, it is no more a static variable. I have removed the static value. I have made it as instance variable. So now with respect to obj1, it is 20. With obj2, it is 30. Again with obj1, it will be 20 only because the value of the instance variable will not change from object to object. Oh, sorry. With respect to an instance variable, the value of that instance variable changes from object to object. But with respect to a static variable, the value of the static variable does not change from object to object. Whatever the newly initialized value with respect to any object, so that will be reflected to all other objects. So that is known as a static variable. And the static variable can have any access modifiers. So that is the static variable, guys.